So this is my very first like actual just YouTube video. So thanks for watching, and I apologize in advance for however this is going to turn out. But we have just had so many exciting things happen at the clinic lately, and the results we're able to get with patients has just skyrocketed. And I feel like it's a disservice not to bring this to a like broader, slower conversation space than just quick little Instagram reels. So if you're watching this, thanks for joining us, and hopefully there will be many more videos sharing patient stories and describing a little more of what it is that we do, how frequency medicine works, and maybe the thing that you might be needing, or at least kind of start you thinking about your health in a different manner. So today's topic is delving into this new thing that we've been doing in the last couple of months here, where we're imprinting frequencies specifically onto homeopathic pellets. So they're the sugar pellets that they use in homeopathy. These are blank pellets that we imprint frequencies on, and I'll talk about that. As well as we can actually imprint on little crystals that then you can put in your ear, just like you see I have some in here right now for me. And that has basically taken what we've been doing for a really long time, couple of years of these biofield sessions of looking at the person's frequency and their resonance, and what they're reacting to, organs that aren't functional, whatever that might be. And we're able to measure that based off of a salivary swab. So we take a salivary swab, and then we take that frequency, their DNA, and we run it against a bank of known frequencies for your liver, for lymphatics, for brain, for amygdala, for mold, for mycotoxins, for Lyme, for parasites, whatever the thing might be. And we can get a number on the other side of the machine that shows us how impacted that organ is, or how much the organism as a whole, how much your frequency as a person, based off of your DNA swab, is reactive to mold, to mycotoxins, to Lyme, parasites, gluten, whatever the thing is that we're testing. Uh, and then that allows us to make very specific imprints that are specific to you. Like literally, like when we send you home with a little bottle of these imprinted pellets, it is based off of your DNA. This isn't just a generalized treatment. This is specifically for you, specifically what was measured. And it's to bring up liver function, kidney function, brain function, or help your body develop a better relationship with a toxin. And it's done a couple of things. It solves the problem that we had with the biofield mind body medicine part, that if you're not a good meditator, you would quote, kind of fail that treatment. And, we might have to do it over again if you weren't able to get into a deep meditative state. Since you're exposed to these frequencies, with the ear seeds, we leave them in for 48 hours. With the pellets, you're usually, depending on the protocol, you're taking them multiple times a day over multiple days. So we're exposing you to that frequency for a longer period of time, which makes it a lot easier for your body to take that frequency and run with it, and starting to actually generate that on its own. Whereas before, we tried to do everything in that like half-hour meditation. You'd hold your vials and your homeopathics, and you'd smell the essential oil and all that. And then we needed the brain to figure that all out pretty much in a half an hour, or at least like start the process and figure it out by the next morning. With this, it allows us to stack those frequencies so that your body's able to get multiple attempts to pass it. And what we've been finding, we've been actually including this now with our biofield sessions, because there's still a place for those. There's still a time where you have to work on the mind body connection. So the biofield still does fantastic for that. What this has allowed us to do is go, okay, well, let's, instead of doing a ton of biofield sessions, let's do a few and let's maybe save those for the end, or let's save them for once you've started to plateau, or use them as a kind of kick in the beginning, depending on the person's presentation. Um, and then we can go after specific things. So we can go, okay, when we measured your saliva, your liver was really low functioning, your gallbladder was really low functioning. So before we even tackle any of these toxins, we have to be able to bring up that function or that frequency for liver and gallbladder. And as we can bring that up, then we can assume, we make the assumption that as that frequency comes up, that your liver function is improving, that your gallbladder function is improving. So all of this is measuring the frequencies, not actually the organ itself. We're obviously not testing the liver itself or the gallbladder itself. We're testing the frequency that is associated with that in the body, which gives us a massive ability to run a lot of data in a relatively short period of time. It still takes a while to do all of that because we have to do it, one frequency at a time. But we get to have a much more comprehensive view of your frequencies. And if you're not familiar with frequency medicine, it can seem real weird, and it can be kind of overwhelming to think about and to grasp that you can take these little pellets that are nothing more than sugar globules that have been imprinted with an electrical current or an electrical frequency, that you can take these and feel a massive difference in 24 hours. A lot of times that's a Herxheimer reaction difference, but we can do it with kids that are really dysregulated and see almost immediate changes in their mood by the next day, which is exciting, and we'll talk about some of those stories later. But when we think about frequencies, everything around us has a frequency attached to it, which is why people talk about frequencies of fabrics. And linen has a different frequency than cotton, and it impacts your body and how you show up to the world depending on what kind of frequency clothing you're wearing. So we're really looking at the body different than probably you've looked at it a lot prior to this video, of looking at it from a chemical standpoint, whether you're addressing that chemical side from diet and the nutrients you eat, or supplements, or herbs, or prescription medications, or over-the-counter medications. All of that is in this kind of bucket over here of our chemistry, which absolutely is part of how the body functions. But we have this whole other part of us that is electrical, that is frequency generated, that responds to frequencies. And we all consciously know this because we know that when we go to the ER with chest pain, they're going to measure the frequencies or the electrical activity from the skin that is emitted from the heart. They're not actually jabbing an electrode into your heart and measuring the electrical activity of your heart. They're measuring the frequency from, or the electromagnetic pulse from your heart through the EKG leads. So we all know that there's this frequency electrical side of the body. The majority of people also recognize, and there's copious amounts of research on this, that we as human beings, and really all living creatures, are sensitive to frequencies and vibrations and all of that. And that's why, you have the plant research where you can put a plant in front of calm music and it'll grow towards the music. You put it in front of, rock music and it's going to actually lean away from the music. All of those things lead us to go, okay, there is something more than just the chemical. Unfortunately, in most of healthcare, I think even in a lot of the integrative medicine realm and the alternative medicine, we tend to still be stuck in that chemistry side. And there's absolutely a place for the chemistry, and there's lots and lots of people who have gotten better through the frequency side. What this does is allows us to go, okay, yes, your vitamin D level is really low, so we're going to supplement with vitamin D. But your vitamin D level is low, and that's impacting your immune response. And we don't have a supplement to help your macrophages or help your lymphocytes function better. We do, however, have a frequency that will match to those lymphocytes or macrophages, and we can give you that frequency for the body to go, oh, yeah, we actually like really down regulated those guys because the vitamin D was really low and that impacted our immune response. So like we haven't been using those appropriately. And we can give you that frequency back and then step back and allow the body to go, oh, I remember that I'm made to be able to do this. And the body can start generating those frequencies again. And that's when we see people have these, almost immediate responses to the frequencies. I had someone last week, I think it was last week, who had come in after being sick, and they weren't seeing me for the flu, but had the flu and still had maybe some ruptured eardrum. They weren't sure. It was before they'd seen the ENT. But just a lot of fullness in the ear, and we literally put the ear seeds in, and I stepped back to get the other ear seed to put the other one in, and she was like, "Whoa." I was like, what? She's like, that just changed the fullness in my ear. And it can happen that fast, which is really cool and is reassuring for how amazingly our body is created and what we're capable of doing. That's been, whether it's doing this, whether it's doing the biofield, mind body medicine, whether it's doing, um, you know, guided meditations, that has been the thing that I have learned through my health journey and really been able to grasp. And that's what I want people to understand is your body, regardless of the diagnosis you've received, no matter what diagnosis you haven't received, um, your body is capable of wild amounts of healing. And if you haven't experienced that, then we might need to be looking into frequency medicine. We might be looking at the mind body connection. But I don't want you to be sitting there and go, well, I have something really serious going on. There's no way this could work for this, because we have seen this change people's health time and time again, even in just the last couple of months that we've been doing this. And the response to this with GI issues, with brain fog, with SIRS, with Lyme, has been just amazing. And that's why I wanted to make this video. I plan on making many more videos explaining more about biofield mind body medicine, just about the concept of body and mind together. Um, but since the frequency stuff is newer and I know it's a lot to grasp, I wanted to make this video, if nothing else, for my current patients who are doing it and like, dude, this is bonkers. I feel so different after just putting some little crystals in my ear. That hopefully you can go back and watch this video and share with your spouse if they're wondering what in the world is going on and why you're coming home with these little crystals in your ear and all of that. So hopefully this helps explain things a little bit more. We hope to do more videos diving into some of the research around frequencies and how much it can impact the body.